Happy New Year, everybody. Appreciate everybody taking the time to be here. Certainly a fun, exciting time of year as we transition from Phase 1 non-conference into Phase 2, our regular season conference play, and clearly start off with a bang with preseason number 1 and number 2. But we're excited for the opportunity. We feel like we're playing a pretty good brand of basketball and really excited to get this thing going tomorrow night. I know a lot of people are probably heading to Frisco at some point this week, but hopefully we get a great turnout. I know it's a little bit colder, but your support matters, and so we hope to see a packed shack tomorrow night. I'll take questions.
How much of your preparation for NDSU is centered around Dom?
Certainly quite a bit. I mean, he's a talented young man, but as quickly as you start focusing in on just him, you start to realize they've got some other pieces around him that just play off of him really well. And then, to me, the Jenkins kid, the freshman, is really having a great impact for them as a true freshman as well.
Guard Dom.
I think you have some perspective when you're guarding Mike Dom, that he's going to get his. You just got to make him difficult and be consistent with him. He does a terrific job of you go back and you watch some of his synergy clips and try to figure out what he's really good at, where's he better at, and it's just so balanced. He catches and shoots it well. He can bounce it. He's good in the post. He's good over both shoulders. He hits the offensive glass well. So again, I think it's just a product of just being there and being consistent and making him work for him.
With such a difficult start to the conference slate, how important is it for you to have had experience against tough teams already this year?
Yeah, certainly we've played a challenging schedule. Again, I've said this countless times, not just who, but where and when we've played them, and hopefully that's prepared us for league. But we also understand what league's about, and you've seen some scores in the last week or so that you're better scouted. These teams are just more well aware of what you're doing, what you're trying to do, and thus it's just become such a possession game. Usually we talk to our guys, of our next 14 conference games, probably 9 or 10 of them are going to come down to 2, 3, 4 possessions. And so just making sure we're locked in on all the little things that aren't that little when you think about it.
Cameron Hunter, 9 assists last game. Is that kind of a glimpse of what, could see from him for the rest of the year? I mean, the kid's shown some spark lately.
Yeah, we certainly hope so. He's got the ability, like we've talked about, to get to different places on the floor that are hard to coach, that are hard to teach. Now it's our job to continue to help him when he gets to those places, make good decisions and get his teammates involved and play off 2 feet, some of those things. But again, for Cameron Hunter, 14 games into his college career, very pleased with where he's at.
How big do you think the three-pointer basket's going to be against South Dakota State? I think they're hitting like 11 a game, and you guys pretty good defending the three.
Yeah, certainly. Again, to all these points here, we're well aware that we're not going to pitch a shutout, and they're not going to get any three balls. But we've got to limit them. I think a little over 34 of their points out of their 84 points are coming from beyond the arc. And so we've got to be very cognizant of that too. But I think sometimes you look at that and you freak out, and the product of how those threes, the big thing that we've talked about is cause and effect. If we're not disciplined with some things, they're getting downhill and pitching inside out, and those become higher percentage threes.
Is there more of an emphasis on the offense and not turning the ball over as much because South Dakota State's going to find ways to score?
Well, they're going to score. Again, it's just our job to limit those, and yeah, that's part of it. But again, as much as we sit here today, this afternoon, and go into tomorrow night's game about South Dakota State, it's always about us. And again, our staples are defending, rebounding, which I'm encouraged to see we're starting to do that at a better clip, finishing possessions, and then taking care of the ball. I think we're getting better at that. But we still got a lot of improvement because, again, a team like South Dakota State, they are efficient in the open court as well, especially in transition, feeding off some of your turnovers. And so the more we can, limit our turnovers and play and fight 5-on-5, the better our chances we feel that they'll be.
How do you feel like the mentality of your guys changes now you get into conference play?
Yeah, I've seen a good mentality, to be honest with you. We came back from Christmas break and kind of worked through some things, had some longer days, and besides the first about 5-6 minutes against Jamestown and then the last 3-4 minutes against Jamestown, I thought we were pretty locked in, playing pretty well. But yesterday's practice was very good, very spirited, very competitive, and now today we need to continue to clean some of those things up that we learned from practice and then carry those over into tomorrow night. But I think our guys, they understand. We've got some great seniors, leadership, and guys like Paul Miller and A.J. Jacobson that have been there and done it, and to help the Chris Quayles, Rocky Cruisers, Cameron Hunters that haven't been in these moments yet.
Health of the Summit League coming out of the non-conference season. Seems like a pretty big wins and pretty competitive basketball.
I think our league is very, very good. I won't mention names, but just talking to colleagues in different leagues that may be considered peers or higher than us, I think our league is right there, or maybe not, maybe even ahead of some of these leagues. And again, I'm not one to sit here and compare scores, but again, top to bottom, our league seems very, very competitive and very excited from a competitor standpoint myself to get going with this.
It seems like there's less games this year conference because of IUPUI leaving. Is there a slighter margin for error?
I got that question earlier today. Again, that's just not our approach, especially going into it on January 1. Our whole deal is to focus on the here and now and get better every day. And if we do that, no matter what happens tomorrow or the next day, we'll be where we need to be when we need to be there. And we're in phase 2. It's an important phase. It's more important than 1. But this regular season of getting better and challenging ourselves against our opponents will prepare us for the most important phase, and that's phase 3 of the conference tournament.